Hello, welcome to Lemon Studios, where we talk anything and everything entertainment. I'm, of course, Lemon himself, Zeke Lemon, and this is my review for Friday Night SmackDown of September 20th, 2024. But before we get into that, let's get the house clean out of the way, shall we? I'm to leave a like, comment below, let me know your thoughts on Friday Night SmackDown, and of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, all out of the way, let's get into the review, shall we? So, before we get fully into the review, I want to talk about something a report that came out way back in like April. Because the main common issue with SmackDown was that, you know, hey man, without Roman, there really isn't any clear direction, and like the quality is just a little bit down. And now, last week was a great episode with Roman. I think this episode was also really good too. And the article or leak of dirt sheet, whatever you want to call it, saying Cody Rhodes doesn't have a clear direction as WWE champion until The Rock and Roman Reigns come back. And then I was like, damn, that's kind of weird. And I will say, it has now become very, very clear on what Cody's direction is. Now, I am still pretty sure that the main event of WrestleMania 41 is Cody Rhodes versus The Rock. Or maybe we do get the money match finally of The Rock versus Roman Reigns. Either way, Night 2 main event is going to involve Dwayne in some way, somehow. But what I'm really liking with the addition of Roman Reigns, especially now as a face, is that now it's kind of like this where this hero kind of bites himself in the foot, especially within his friends, because Kevin Owens' main thing with the Bloodline was, look, I've been fighting them for like 4 years. I hate them. Randy Orton, it caused them like over a year of his career, right? From his injury, in kayfabe anyway. And now that he is actually siding with Roman Reigns and he's saying, hey, will you have my back so I can have yours? I mean, that whole cinema segment was absolutely spectacular. It was kind of weird that they had it in Georgia Tech. I mean, just as a character-wise, like, can you imagine whether it was Roman calling Cody or Cody calling Roman? I'm assuming by this segment it was Cody calling Roman, because Roman's like, okay, just tell me what you want. Just tell me what you want. Where Cody was like, hey, you in Atlanta? And Roman's like, yeah, hey, let's meet up. We need to talk about some things here if we're really going to do this tag team match. All right, cool. Yeah, meet me at Georgia Tech Stadium, not at a restaurant or anything like that where we get a bite to eat or, you know, a cup of coffee if you don't want to stay in each other's presence for that long. But no, let's meet at Georgia Tech Stadium. And Roman Reigns showing up with 9 cars was also really funny too. And I like how Cody brought that up. But yeah, good segment overall where Roman was like, look, I've lost everything. And the Bloodline has nothing to lose either. So why would you even be in this? And I like the whole ending of Cody bringing it back to that promo at WrestleMania 39. He goes, look, you will be a chief without a tribe. And Roman going, you are in my way. No, not physically. You are in my way in life. Like, you are in my way. Which is like, okay, maybe we have to get this round 3 at some point. And it's one of the best rivalries where, you know, it's just 2 alpha males, like, this is my yard type storyline, where I kind of hope round 3 doesn't have the title. You know, like, it's just, hey, the 2 faces of the company are fighting it out to prove who is truly the man, where there's not even a belt. To me, would be spectacular. But both their characters are so surrounded by that title, it'd be weird. But anyway, out of the fantasy booking and back to the current time. With Kevin Owens going, I can't believe Cody would do that. And he goes, look, I'm going to talk about my feelings in the ring. We get our main event segment. And everything after the main event, besides that crappy finish, I think that was a horrible finish. Because that's happened so many times, right? Where, you know, people either break up the pin or they pull the referee out and no DQ, right? But this one time, it was a DQ. It was absolutely horrendous. And the match itself was fine, but that finish really ruined the whole entire thing for me personally. But yeah, Kevin Owens having the chair, seeing Cody like, you hurt me, and like, you know, the way they hugged afterwards, and Kevin's face is like really blistering up. And assuming, you know, we do this Bloodline Civil War at War Games, I do think Sami Zayn is going to join Roman Reigns, and maybe that's when you finally break Kevin. Like, okay, Cody, I can somewhat understand. I mean, we're not that close, but, you know, he did what he had to do, and I can somewhat understand. But, you know, they have their second fight at Crown Jewel, Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes for WWE title, where Kevin Owens does have more of a killer instinct instead of this whole friendly deal. And then you also got Randy Orton in the background, and maybe that finally breaks him because Randy Orton's been looking at that title. ever since Roman's came back, Cody has gotten so much more interesting, is what I'm trying to say for these 5 minutes that I've been yapping. It's just because every defense before was like, well, he's obviously going to win. Yeah, there's not much real meat here until maybe the go-home show where, you know, he is able to really sell the match for me to actually be like, yeah, I can't wait to watch it. But now, you know, it's just the story elements within the other characters as well, where I assume Cody still wins, but everything that's going to be happening within the match, the build up to it, is much more engaging with the character that he's going to be playing with now that Roman is coming back. Because I do assume after this tag team match, where everyone needs to get used to it, is going to be Solo Sikoa pinning Roman Reigns 1, 2, 3, one way or the other. Is that then we do Solo versus Roman one-on-one at Crown Jewel, and then I assume it'll be Kevin versus Cody first, and then after that, then, you know, at War Games it'll be Cody and Orton at Survivor Series. But overall, great stuff that we did there, because all of that main event angle stuff, besides the crappy finish in the main event, which I will keep harping on, that storyline thread of that cinema segment, plus the tag team match in the end, and how Kevin Owens is feeling, has just added so many weeks of content moving forward that I am just really, really excited to just tune in every week to see how this all plays out. Who turns heel first? Will anyone turn heel? It's going to be really interesting to see. And like I said, SmackDown has just elevated ever since Roman has come back. And I do pin it back to that article that came out in April. But yeah, enough with the main event stuff. Great stuff there. As you can see, I'm really engaged with it, really in tune. Now let's get into the mid-card title, the United States title, which the women may be getting since both SmackDown and Raw going to 3 hours. Yay! As a fan, I'm not super thrilled with both of them going to 3 hours, especially because, like I said, if Roman's not on SmackDown, SmackDown lacks a little bit. But as a talent and as a business, I completely understand why you would want the 3 hours on both. It's going to expand the roster so much more. And, you know, if you are going to get an extra hour, then, you know, maybe, yeah, give both women a mid-card title to really flesh out the shows a little bit. Even though sometimes Raw be cutting it close a little bit. But, yeah, anyway. United States title, Andrade versus LA Knight. Good match. I really liked it. I don't know what really happened in the ending. And I'm not talking about, you know, the slip-up, because by all means, the slip-up could have actually been very intentional, because if you go on Twitter, you do see LA Knight having a post-show interview, and he does talk about, like, you know, if I didn't get you the first time, I'm going to get you the next time. And so maybe that is part of the storyline, or maybe that's just LA thinking on his feet to justify that moment within the match. But everything afterwards, like, it was just really awkward. Okay? Like, it does kind of fit LA Knight's character from, like, not wanting to shake his hand, but, like, wanting to do a fist bump or something. And I don't know, maybe one way it was supposed to happen and it wasn't. I don't know how intentional all that was, but it was a little bit weird. But overall, I did like the United States title stuff that we did. I also like that Carmelo didn't interfere. I really did think that was going to happen, but he did not, except we saved it for a backstage segment where, you know, Andrade said, hey, you choked, LOL, and then they got a brawl, and now we'll get match 6, where I assume on Melo wins, and then we get match 7. I would hope at Bad Blood. Let's just do 6 matches, Triple H. We don't need to do the 5. Let's just do 6. It'll be fine, and, you know, give them that 7th match, make it a no-holds-barred finale, and then they can go their separate ways for good. Because even as I was like, okay, here we are, we're going to set up match 6 here, I was, like, struggling a little bit, because, again, I've enjoyed all 5 matches. But match 5 is my least favorite out of all of them. So that's the last match in my head. And I'm just like, man, I really don't know if I have it in me to go 2 more rounds. Because why do match 6 if you're not going to do match 7? And, you know, then maybe Melo wins match 6. And then we have another break at LA Knight versus Carmelo. And then we do match 7 with Andrade. And then they can finally go their separate ways. But I am trying to muster up that we are going to get 2 more matches between them. And I'm sure the matches will be good. Even though match 5 is my least favorite out of the 5 that they had, it was still a good match. So I know these next 2 matches are going to be really good. I'm just kind of ready for them to mix it up with other people, you know, and just be fresh with those 2. But, you know, that's just the detriment of a 7-match program that you're going to have with 2 characters. At some point, it's going to run its course, especially if it's a regular match every single time. Maybe when we got to match 5, it should have been a stipulation, then match 6 could have been a different stipulation. Kind of what we did in AEW when the trios titles was a thing. I say was as if they're not still around, but when they took the trios title seriously, I should say. No shots. But yeah, maybe we could have done something like that to keep the 7-match program fresh. But hey, I'm pretty sure the matches will be fine. Now, onto the women's section, which was really the only bits because there was no tag team storylines being built throughout, which again is a weak point of all WWE programming, not just SmackDown. But yeah, we had the Chelsea Green segment. Man, this girl is just the queen of maximizing her minutes. And if there is a mid-card title being introduced pretty soon, she needs to be the one who wins the title first because she will elevate it. She does absolutely great with everything that she is given because by all means, this segment should have been awful. Like the cheesy music and the silliness that Chelsea Green was doing. But just because it's Chelsea Green, it works. I really don't know if you give this to any other character that the segment is as good. You know what I mean? But yeah, I absolutely love the dumpster segment with Chelsea Green. I'm looking forward to the dumpster match between her and Michin. Also, Michin is also getting a lot more love too. I feel her climbing up a little bit. And again, I think this is really going to benefit when we do go to the 3 hours. Again, as a fan, I prefer both shows to be 2 hours. It goes by faster to me. And also, I get an extra hour to myself. And, it's not 10 p.m. I'm like, oh, okay, well, what do I do? Do I keep watching TV or do I decide to go to bed? With that extra hour, I'm like, okay, I can stay up another hour and, it'll be fine. But anyway, that's a personal battle between me. But when we do go to these 3 hours, these segments will become longer. There's going to be much more opportunities for women like a Michin to get more shine and to really climb up within the card. She's done great for what she's in, but it's been very, very limited. And I do think when we get to 3 hours, Michin's opportunities are going to only continue to grow along with Chelsea Green, along with Piper Niven, along with all the other women within the roster as well. They will have a lot more opportunities, especially if we do get a couple of mid-card titles as well. Also, take the tag team title seriously too, but that's another conversation for another time. But yeah, now to the women's program. Well, they did something different. Again, I appreciate WWE for doing something different. They did it twice within this show. Within this tag team match, which I did like. I liked the finish quite a bit. A lot of people think it was a botch finish. I don't think it was. And then, they had the main event finish, which I do think was not a good opportunity to do something different. They have done a lot of things differently. Like, hey, let's think outside the field. Let's do a DQ here. Okay, that didn't work. We won't do that again. I really do think WWE won't. Over here, I wouldn't mind doing it again at some point with this type of storyline where, like, look, all right, Naomi and Bayley, if you lose, whoever gets pinned is kicked out of SmackDown for good. Whoever gets the pin is going to be the #1 contender for the women's title. And then Nia just throwing in there in the end randomly, all right, Tiffany, if you get pinned, maybe you should leave SmackDown for good too. And then Nick Aldis like, hey, what's going to be a tornado tag match today? Everyone has the same opportunity. Really, really interesting stuff all the way through. I liked how, Naomi pulled Bayley away when she was going to win. Because why wouldn't you? It's like a weird scenario. It's like, look, that's my partner. We have the dub, but also, I don't want you to be #1 contender, so yeah, I'm going to pull you off. Good stuff there. Also like the finish of them both getting the pin, doing the 1, 2, 3, which I assume we would do the triple threat, right? It's like, okay, y'all both pinned the women's champion, so yeah, y'all going to both get in and be a triple threat match at Bad Blood. But nope, next week we'll get Bayley versus Naomi one-on-one proper, which I am afraid we're going to do that stupid-ass finish that we always do with these types of matches being set up. Because if, I swear to God, if Nia Jax comes out or Tiffany Stratton comes out, causes a DQ, be like, ha-ha! Now no one gets the title match. And then Nick Aldis comes out, well, guess what? Now you get both. I'm just like, well, we could just done it here. Like, this just feels like filler if we do that. Like, I kind of prefer the triple threat because I assume Nia's going to win either way. But I kind of assume that I kind of prefer the triple threat match, and I just kind of wish it was greenlit here. But I really am liking everything that we're doing with Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax. We're really building that up. And it's going to be a good program whenever that does blow over. I assume at Survivor Series. I think we get past Crown Jewel, but I think in November, Tiffany Stratton finally cashes in on Nia to win the title. And then Tiffany can actually be a full-on babyface. Because I don't see Nia turning, even though cashing in is such a heel move to make. But the writers have been really good enough to make cashing in a face move. and Tiffany's already so over. So it will be interesting to see there. But, you know, Nia going, look, if you lose, you're kicked out of SmackDown for good too. I really hope next week there is a segment between Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax. Since Nia got pinned, not once but twice technically, that Tiffany can make a sly comment, just a sly jab, and be like, well, you know, you got pinned, maybe you should be going to Raw. And then, you know, the crowd goes, ooh, and then Nia turns and Tiffany goes, I'm sorry, my queen, I'm sorry, my queen. Just a little moment like that, I think will be really, really good for this storyline. That is obviously the main point, and that Bayley and Naomi are just extra or collateral, if you will. But yeah, I'm really liking everything that we're doing with the women's stuff. It is elevating quite a bit. I still don't think it's quite at the women's world title, but we are building it up a little bit where I am now starting to pay attention more to the WWE women's title than I was previously, where it does feel like an afterthought after a while. But yeah, SmackDown overall was a really good show. I am really looking forward to next week, which I haven't been able to do in quite some time. You know, adding Roman back is a big elevation. I don't know what that says about Cody, but you know, it is what it is. Really looking forward to it. Leave a comment below if you to let me know what you think of this episode of SmackDown, and what any topics that you may disagree with that I brought up. If you made it this far, please leave a like. I do greatly appreciate that. And of course, hit that subscribe button, as I am trying to go into my YouTube career. We have a lot of content coming our way. Of course, we have Raw reviews. We're going to be reviewing Bad Blood as well, and then everything else moving forward. We also do movies and TV reviews. Got Transformers 1 on the back burner. That'll be coming out on Sunday. We also got The Penguin, Agatha All Along, and The Lord of the Rings is about to wrap up. We also got Doom Prophecy, that will be coming out in November. So yeah, a lot of content here, so leave a subscribe. And until next time, guys, I'll see you here at Limit Studios.